Have you ever walked into a room and noticed someone who just seemed to shine without saying a single word? They weren't the loudest. They didn't need to be. But something about them drew people in like a magnet. Maybe it was their calm presence, the way they carried themselves, or that quiet confidence that made you want to know more. Now here's the thing. That kind of quiet magnetism, it doesn't come from youth or beauty or fancy clothes. It comes from something far deeper. And the best part, if you're over 55, you might already have it, and if not, it's never too late to build it. Today, I want to talk to you about something I truly believe in, the kind of charm that doesn't need words, the kind that speaks volumes without ever raising its voice. These are the traits that make you silently irresistible, not flashy, not over the top, just quietly powerful and deeply attractive in a way that only becomes stronger with age. And let's be honest, as we get older, we don't always feel seen. Sometimes we feel like the world rushes past us, like we've become invisible. But what if I told you that you could walk into any space, whether it's a room full of people or just a quiet moment with someone, and radiate something unforgettable? Not with noise, not with effort, just with presence. Let's explore that together, starting with one of the most powerful traits you can have. And it's something you already have more experience with than anyone younger ever could. The first trait is genuine self-assurance. I'm not talking about arrogance or pretending to have all the answers. I mean the kind of calm confidence that comes from truly knowing who you are and being okay with it. After 55, you've lived through enough storms to know that life doesn't always go as planned. You've been challenged, you've made mistakes, you've grown. And because of that, there's a strength in you that can't be faked. When you walk with that quiet inner knowing, people sense it. You don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. That's powerful. You become magnetic without even trying, because people are drawn to authenticity, especially in a world full of pretense. And here's the secret. Self-assurance isn't about perfection. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, letting your wrinkles show, laughing when you want to laugh, wearing what makes you feel good, not worrying so much about what's in style or what others think. The moment you stop chasing approval and start embracing yourself exactly as you are, something changes. People feel that. They lean in. They want to be around someone who's not pretending. Now let's talk about something else that can't be bought, but speaks louder than any accessory. Graceful body language. After 55, your body has told a story. Every line, every step, every motion has meaning. And how you carry yourself, how you move, stand, sit, can make a world of difference. Think about it. Posture alone can shift everything. When you stand, tall, shoulders back, head held high, even in stillness, you're saying, I belong here. I value myself. That kind of quiet strength is irresistible. You don't need to speak loudly or take up space in the way younger generations might. Feel they have to. Your presence speaks for you. A warm smile, eye contact that says, I see you. Hands that rest gently, movements that are calm and purposeful. These small things, they're huge. They're the language of elegance and experience, and they have more power than you might think. And let me say this, graceful body language isn't about trying to look younger. It's about owning your space, moving with intention, breathing deeply and letting that natural wisdom come through your presence. It tells the world, I'm here, I'm whole, I'm worth noticing, and people will notice. Now here's something you might not expect to hear on a list like this, but it matters more than people realize. Emotional steadiness in a world full of drama-ish, but still lights up every room they enter. And now that we've talked about confidence, graceful presence, and emotional steadiness, let's keep that momentum going. Because the next few traits take things even deeper. They go beyond how you carry yourself and into the quiet power of how you make others feel. Let's talk about genuine curiosity, because this is a trait that often gets overlooked, but it has an incredible magnetic pull. Think about the last time someone really listened to you, not just nodded along, not just waited for their turn to speak, but truly listened. It's rare, right? Now imagine being that person for others. When you're genuinely curious about someone, when you ask thoughtful questions, when your eyes light up because you actually care what someone has to say, people feel seen, heard, valued. And that's one of the most irresistible experiences you can give another human being. After 55, you've likely mastered the art of listening better than most. You've had enough conversations to know that sometimes the best response is silence. Sometimes the greatest gift is attention, and that kind of presence, that kind of still interest in someone else is powerful. You don't need to know everything, you don't need to pretend. Just being curious about someone's story, their passions, their point of view, creates connection without effort. And here's the beautiful part. It works both ways. When you're curious about the world, about people, about ideas, you stay vibrant, you stay engaged, you remain interesting, not because you're showing off, but because you're still growing. And nothing is more attractive than someone who's lived a full life and still has room for wonder. Now let's shift to something equally subtle, but just as powerful: quiet resilience. This is the kind of strength that doesn't make a scene. It doesn't shout about its accomplishments. It doesn't tell everyone how hard life has been. It simply moves forward, steadily, gracefully, and without apology, and people feel it. If you're over 55, chances are you've been through more than your share of challenges. You've weathered losses. You've adjusted to new phases of life. You've had to let go of things you thought you couldn't live without. But here you are, still standing, still smiling, maybe even stronger than before. That is resilience. And while it may not get loud applause, it radiates from you. In the way you speak, in how you support others, in how you handle stress with grace instead of panic. People are drawn to that, because deep down, we all crave steadiness. We want to be near people who've walked through fire and come out softer, not harder. You don't have to talk about all the things you've been through. Just the way you show up, with calm, with perspective, with quiet strength, says it all. That's silent charisma, that's inner magnetism, and what pairs beautifully with resilience, kindness without agenda. You know what I mean? That small smile to a stranger, the way you offer help without expecting praise, the way you lift others up simply because you can. After a certain age, you begin to realize that kindness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's not something you do to get anything in return, it's just who you are. When you hold the door, when you compliment someone, sincerely, when you notice someone who's feeling a little left out and you include them, it doesn't make you louder. It makes you brighter. People don't always remember what you said. They rarely remember exactly what you did, but they always remember how you made them feel. And when your energy is warm and kind without strings attached, people naturally want to be near you. You don't need to try to impress anyone. Just being kind, authentically kind, is enough to set you apart in a world that's too often rushed, distracted, and self-focused. And this kind of kindness doesn't doctor. Graceful body language, emotional steadiness, curiosity, resilience, and kindness can make you glow from the inside out without needing to say a single word. These traits don't shout, they whisper, and yet they reach the hearts of those around you in the most meaningful ways. Now let's talk about something that may surprise you: a sense of humor, especially the kind that doesn't need an audience. You know, that gentle laughter that bubbles up at just the right time, or the ability to smile at life even when it's not being particularly kind. That spark of lightness, the twinkle in your eye when something strikes you as funny, that's a form of silent charisma that's incredibly magnetic. After 55, you've seen enough of life to know that taking everything seriously only wears you down. The ability to find humor in everyday situations, to laugh at yourself, to see the absurdity in the chaos, to bring lightness into conversations, is a gift. And not only does it make you feel better, It lifts up everyone around you. Laughter, even the quiet kind, is healing. It connects people, it breaks down walls. And here's the thing, you don't need to be a comedian. You don't need to tell jokes. Sometimes just smiling at life, just showing that you're not burdened by every little thing, is enough to make people feel more at ease around you. It says, I've been through worse, and I'm still here. That's magnetic. That's the kind of energy people gravitate toward. Not because it's loud, but because it's light. Now let's lean into something that might be the most quietly powerful trait of all, being fully present. In a world full of distraction, where people are constantly scrolling, multitasking, rushing, the ability to just be here is rare. And when you are present, really present, you become unforgettable. When someone speaks to you and you truly listen, not with your phone in your hand or your thoughts somewhere else, but with your eyes, your body, your heart, they feel it. When you sit with someone in silence without needing to fill the air with words, that's a kind of intimacy many people haven't felt in years. When you're fully in the moment, watching the sunset, enjoying a meal, listening to music, you radiate peace, and peace is deeply attractive. Presence says, you matter to me right now. It says, I'm here and I'm not in a hurry to be somewhere else. That kind of attention, that kind of grounded energy, it draws people in. It's calming. It's rare, and it's something that becomes more natural with age, especially when you've learned the value of slowing down and savoring the moment. When you are present, you don't need to perform. You don't need to impress. Just being there fully and sincerely is more than enough. So let's bring it all together for a moment. Picture this. A person in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, walking into a space not to dominate it, but simply to occupy it with grace. They move with quiet confidence. They smile with warmth and kindness. They've lived through challenges, and it shows in their steadiness, in their ability to listen, in the calm they bring with them. They laugh easily, but never cruelly. They give their full attention, and in doing so, make others feel special. They aren't trying to be noticed, and yet they always are. That person could be you. Because none of what we've talked about is about changing who you are. It's about revealing the best parts of you, the parts that maybe the world didn't always notice when you were younger, but that now, with time and wisdom, shine brighter than ever. You see, being silently irresistible isn't about having the perfect hair, or being a certain size, or saying all the right things. It's about energy. It's about presence. It's about carrying your years with pride and your heart with openness. It's the quiet kind of beauty that doesn't fade. In fact, it grows, and the truth is people of all ages are